Top 10 gadgets for the visually impaired. It's tough to comprehend being blind. Those with sight would likely find it difficult to understand how drastically different daily experiences might be without it. However, with these fantastic modern technologies, all of the difficulties brought on by vision impairment are being solved at an incredible rate. These amazing cutting-edge technological inventions result from much effort and thorough investigation. Let's examine 10 of these technologies created specifically for them. B-Touch mobile phone. Sometimes concept phones are designed to look attractive, sometimes to protect the environment, and sometimes to make life easier for individuals with disabilities. This is also true with the B-Touch phone, designed by ZenWeiYu and intended for visually challenged individuals. This touchscreen gadget employs Braille, blind touchscreen technology, voice-activated systems, and software to enhance user engagement. In addition, the handset can be used for navigation, as a book reader, and as an object recognition device. Imagine how much easier it would be for people who can't see to do everyday things like read a book, talk on the phone, and recognize objects. This device makes it easy for a blind person to do everything, like talk on the phone, answer messages, and use social media. All of this isn't that easy to do with regular smartphones as a whole. Safe and sanitary mug. Try doing this. Put on a blindfold and pour a glass of water without dropping it. Okay, let's make this harder. Fill exactly 3/4 of the cup. Difficult? Yeah, that's how hard it is for blind people to pour drinks into mugs without spilling. It's fine to dip your pinky to guess the level of something cold, but what if it's boiling hot? The Braun Bell mug's handle has 3 levels that show how full it is, and the mug has sensors that can tell how full it is. Most blind people have to use their fingers for drinking, but Sang-Hoon Lee and Yongbum Lim's awesome Braun Bell concept mug makes this much safer and cleaner. When water gets to each water sensor, the mug makes a sound to notify its user of the current level of the fluid. Tactile flashcards for learning. Samsung design memberships Young-Soo Hong, Rhea Zhang, Sai-Hee Lee, and Sun-Min Lee have it all figured out. Schools for the blind must have figured out how to teach and do other things by now, right? I mean, we've been teaching people who can't see for a long time, right? Everyone can get better, which is a big step in the right direction. When you can't see, you have to learn through hearing and, of course, touch. Tactile flashcards with the Braille name of an object on one side and a physical texture on the other are a great way to learn about new things. The iStick, walking stick that sees. It's the familiar red and white stick, but it has new features that make it a very useful tool for blind people who need to get around town. Sonic vibrations are one of the most accurate ways for people who are blind or have low vision to get a sense of their surroundings. Putting a small sensor on the end of a walking stick can give a person confidence even when on stairs or in other potentially dangerous situations. The iStick has a sensor lens at the bottom. This is where it gets information about where the person is, like if they are near a staircase or the traffic lights. It then sends vibrations to the blind commuter to let them know what's going on, so they can be aware of their surroundings and confidently move forward. Sign language voice translator. One of the biggest problems for someone who uses sign language to communicate is that it's hard to talk to people who don't sign. It can make it hard to get hired for meaningful work and build stronger relationships with people who don't sign. If a person is deaf and the other person is blind, they won't be able to hear or see each other's voice or body language. This makes it hard for them to talk to each other. So the sign language voice translator is an interesting idea for a possible solution. It is a necklace with a device that turns gestures into spoken words and spoken words into written words. Touch color painting tablet. No doubt blind people can paint and often make beautiful art even if they never had a real sense of color. However, when the color temperature is taken literally, there is a new way to tell the difference between cool blues and hot reds that lets you be much more creative. Touch color comprises a thermal digital tablet and a rainbow color picking ring. A blind person can use his fingers to paint colorful pictures on the tablet. The 24 colors on the ring can be told apart by the braille dots and the different temperatures made by the LED bulbs inside. Even if you're not an artist, the idea of blind color painting sounds like a step in the right direction for technology. The color wheel can even pick up the real colors around the user and send them to the tablet. Navigation bracelet. What looks like a piece of modern plastic jewelry is a navigation system that uses voice commands, GPS, and audio and haptic feedback to give the blind a level of independence that is currently impossible for many. There is substantial proof that this bracelet can also help people who can see, making it faster and easier for them to get around a new city. U-Strap is a smart bracelet for blind or partially sighted people. It has a proximity system that tells the user about obstacles in their way, making it easier for them to move around independently. 2 ultrasonic proximity sensors make up the latest U-Strap model. The machine sends out ultrasound waves and then measures how long it takes for the closest echo to come back. Braille Polaroid camera. People love to take photos. Until now, blind people haven't been able to join in on the fun, but the Braille Polaroid camera could change that. Blind people may be able to figure out what something is by touching it, but unlike people who can see, they can't use photos to remember things. Thankfully, the Braille Polaroid camera works like an instant Braille printer. It turns an object's basic shape into a texture so blind people can put them in an album. It lets people who can't see take pictures of their surroundings with a camera that works like a Polaroid but prints pictures in Braille. Now they can better understand where they are and what their friends look like. It's also a nice way to remember their night out. Feel the Time watch. If you or someone you love has vision impairment, you know how challenging even something as basic as checking the clock can be. E1 Timepieces recently created a universal timepiece to solve this problem, which is expected to alter how timepieces are made for the blind. The Bradley is a revolutionary timepiece that lets users experience the passing of time. It was meant for all people from all walks of life to be able to tell the time when they could not look at a watch. Thus, it is not just for the visually impaired. Amazingly, the Feel the Time watch isn't currently on the market because its design is so beautifully straightforward. The minute hand has a single tiny nub, whereas the hour hand has 2 independent discs, each with a single tiny nub. To acquire an accurate reading, use the gap in the outer circle at 12 o'clock as a guide. Bright F color sensor. Have you ever considered how blind people get dressed? How do they figure out what goes with what? Texture and touch can only tell you so much, but you don't know anything from how something feels. How would a blind person even know what color is if they were born that way? It's a labeling system that relies almost entirely on what you see. The Bright F is supposed to turn that data into sounds. It can tell how bright, how saturated, and what color a color is. You can sort through the same colors by putting them in groups with tones that are the same. This is a great way to wash basic clothes since we all know that white underwear and a red t-shirt don't go well together. So here you have it, the top 10 gadgets for the visually impaired. What do you think? Do you feel you'll be getting any of these gadgets for yourself or your loved ones? Let us know your observations and thoughts in the comments section below. If this video was insightful for you, then go on and like this video. And please, kindly subscribe to our channel and click on the bell button for more of our updates.